So essentially, you will be bidding on a collection of wines, and there are 5 collections of wines from 5 of these iconic wine estates.
Welcome to the guest segment on Africa Business Radio. I am Chukunonso Modi. Now, on the show today, we have an exciting story to share with you. I would like to call it a groundbreaking and iconic initiative. Now, principal South African auction house Strauss Co has partnered with 5 of SA's most respected fine wine producers to offer Africa's first fine wine non-fungible tokens on auction. Now, yes, NFT. NFTs are certainly gaining ground in the art world. I mean, it's not just a way to prove digital ownerships, they're also an excellent way to mark digital assets and, of course, control their supply. Now, joining me to give deeper insights on this auction and this initiative is Roland Peens, Managing Director of Wine Cellar Fine Wine Merchants and Strauss Co auction partner and fine wine specialist. Welcome, Roland. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, now let's go straight to it. What brought about this idea between, Strauss Co and the 5 SA's leading fine wine producers, to offer Africa's first wine NFTs on auctions? Why NFTs of fine wine?
That's a great question because it's taken us about 12 months to get to this point offering NFTs to the market, wine NFTs, and it really has been a collaboration. So we've had over the last 18 months interest from the producer side, we've had interest from the auction side, and I've had interest myself personally in what's happening in blockchain, cryptocurrency and NFT space. And I was in the right place in order to put all these worlds together and offer to the market.
Interesting that you people did NFT. Now, let's talk about this auction. What is it about exactly? How does it work?
So essentially, you will be bidding on a collection of wines, and there are 5 collections of wines from 5 of these iconic wine estates. 2 more modern-day icon wines, such as Villafante, which is a very serious, luxurious red Bordeaux blend, which has been around for around 20 years. And then Mullineux Family Wines, which is another younger producer, but has quickly risen to the top of the South African fine wine industry. The first producer to receive 100 points from an international critic from the United States, which is a tremendous achievement. And then 3 iconic traditional producers or historical producers in South Africa, Kanonkop, Meerlust, and Klein Constantia, which are extremely well known, of course. And their histories go back a number of decades, but the farms have been producing wines for more than a couple hundred years. So we've partnered with 5 wine producers, and each NFT holds a collection of a specific wine.
Okay.
So talk about the Meerlust Rubicon NFT. There'll be 50 Meerlust Rubicon with NFT, and as the bidder, you'll be bidding on this collection of wine. The question might be, well, why NFTs? Why don't you just sell me the collection? Really, because NFTs offers an incredible opportunity of being able to trade and move these assets around the world. It also opens up a much bigger market. So if you're bidding anywhere in Africa, anywhere in the world, all you need to do is exchange cryptocurrency, which is a very quick and efficient and a cheap process. You don't have to go through the whole trust process that you would do going through a traditional merchant sale. You also know that the provenance of the wines within the NFT are exactly as they say on the lot, so that we can tie specific bottles to this collection, which is very different to perhaps another way of buying wine or any other asset, where you get an invoice for the bottle or for the case or for a car, but you don't exactly know which one you're getting.
Yes.
And in fine wine, it's very important to know the provenance, where this wine was stored, and what the condition of the wine is.
Amazing. Now this brings this question. What happens if I don't want to trade the wine? I just for my love for fine wine. I want to drink it. I want to get a single bottle and drink. What happens?
Well, we've made it extremely user-friendly in that each NFT has a collection of bottles in it, and each bottle is actually an NFT itself. So if you want to drink a 1984 milliliter Rubicon and there are 2 bottles within this NFT, you can just draw one. We then burn one of the NFTs, which is the terminology for extracting it or taking it or deleting it. And then the stock quantity will be amended on the NFT, and then if you trade the NFT, it then gets traded with the new stock figure and not the old stock figure. And then of course you can drink it. So certainly you can have all these wines delivered to your home. You could have them shipped. Really the opportunity for the bidder, for the owner, is endless, and that's what makes these NFTs so impressive.
Really impressive. Speaking about transactions now, how secure and fast is it? Because this is another thing that might irk people if they have to struggle to send or pay money. Now, do these transactions add any marginal energy cost?
So this transaction is going to happen with Strauss as a normal auction, and then the bidder, if it's fiat currency, will go through the normal process, and the money is then converted into USDC, which buys the NFT on the blockchain. But you can also come in with fiat currency. So if you're a bidder and you've got a crypto wallet, you can send us cryptocurrency, ETH, Bitcoin, to pay for this NFT. The process is manual, and really we did it manual for the first time just because it's a new concept. We expect in the future that all you'd have is your wallet, and you would give Strauss a certain access key, and that would then allow you to buy the NFT instantaneously. We're not quite there yet. I think in the future that's how it's going to work. Very much like DeFi going to work across all banking, where the intermediary will become less important because there's trust in the mechanism of the NFT. So yes, the transactions are certainly very quick and cheap on the blockchain, but the process is still quite manual. With regards to how green it is, a very important point, if we were doing it on the Ether or Bitcoin blockchain, those transaction fees, gas fees, can be very high. But this is on the Polygon layer 2 framework, and the transaction fees are almost negligible. It's a few cents. It's very little. So quick, cheap, and friendly to the environment as well.
Amazing. That's what I needed to hear. Quick, friendly, and cheap. Really nice. Now, you spoke about, this is Strauss Co.'s first fine wine auction in South African market. There have been various fine wine NFTs available over the last 2 years. The NFT market has boomed. Now, what makes this particular one unique? What exactly is the benefit of this auction to the South African wine industry?
So from a broad point, it's the first time that these wines are being marketed around the world as a collection. 5 top producers. I think if we did this with France or with America or Australia, it would be difficult to get that collection of wines together, the collaboration, the buy-in from the producers. South Africa is in a very, very exciting fine wine space at the moment. Although commodity wine has had a tough time during COVID and has struggled in South Africa, the fine wine market has actually boomed over the last 5 years, and we've seen a lot more fine wines, a lot higher prices, a lot more demand, a lot higher scores from international critics. So really promoting South Africa to the world, saying to the world, we've got incredible wines, have a look at them. Here's a nifty way of collecting them in an NFT. So that's really, really important, is the promotion of South African wine.
Amazing, because using NFT is a really good angle, as is one of the things that are really making the markets go round. So really amazing concept, really amazing work that you guys put together.
Thank you.
Okay, now does this mean that aside art, because most people put art and NFT together, that NFT is the future of fine wine?
No, not necessarily. No, I think blockchain and NFTs will certainly help part of the wine industry, like they will help every industry in my view. Having spent a lot of time on DeFi and blockchain over the last year and a half, I can't see how traditional finance will continue due to its slow, untrustworthy, and expensive transactions compared to the blockchain transactions. So this technology really is going to affect all of our lives, I believe, and a number of people do. And if you have a look at Silicon Valley, the top software engineers are now working on blockchain technology rather than on Web 2 technology, let's call it. So there really is a shift towards Web 3. How it's going to influence fine wine, it will just allow much easier tradability, and that's what we want. We want trust, but we don't want to pay for it. And we want to know what we're buying. And if what we're buying actually says on the invoice is what we're going to get. That's really important. And especially Africa, being a warm country, we don't have these deep, dark cellars like Europe, where often you buy a vintage wine, you can almost assume that it's been stored correctly because it's a cold climate. Here in Africa, it's warm, and you really have to have a temperature-controlled cellar to have fine wine in the best possible condition.
Amazing. Okay. Speaking of NFTs in general, now let's look at it from investment and trading. What can NFTs do in Africa? How can it help to change the future of businesses in Africa?
Sure, that probably falls outside my scope, but I know that blockchain technology is already becoming more prevalent in Africa. Cardano, for instance, has had a big move towards the African market. And really, I think Africa suffers from really expensive transactions. Moving money is expensive. Yes. And that's going to be the first case used for blockchain, cryptocurrencies and NFTs. And then certainly wrapping assets. So not having to have physical papers and title deeds and so on, and having it stored on the blockchain is very important. There was a story of someone leaving Ukraine in the war with as many possessions as they could carry, but going through all the border posts, they literally left with themselves and a USB stick, and on the USB stick were a few NFTs and cryptocurrency, and it was a way to preserve wealth. And I think that's going to be the most important angle in this.
Okay, interesting. Speaking of this auction, now once this NFTs are auctioned now and I get it, can I trade my NFTs on any other platform, or it just has to be one?
Exactly the point of NFTs. They can be traded on any platform. So OpenSea is the biggest NFT platform. They're already on OpenSea. You can see them there. You can go and see the blockchain address on the blockchain. And those then can be put up for sale at any time. You could literally buy them on Monday the 25th when the auction closes, and on Tuesday you can sell them for a profit, or offer them for a profit if you wish. And that's really the great part of it. If you were to do it in a traditional way, there would be so much more back and forth. There would be foreign exchange. There would be much more lengthy conversations and a lot less friction in the transaction. More friction in the transaction than the traditional way, of course.
Okay. Speaking of prices, let's look at it now. How are this, reserve prices set?
Great point. These wines have mostly been sold before on the Strauss Co fine wine platform. For instance, the Cane Constantia lot, we've sold every single vintage of that wine, so we know what the market prices are. We add up all those market prices. There is a slight premium to it because these wineries don't often want to let go of their fine wine stock. In the Mealist case, the 1980, for instance, they only have 3 bottles left in their collection, so one is going to this NFT, and that rarity is another significant part of this the NFT investment case. The more rare, certainly the more investable, in my view.
Yes. I truly enjoy the fact that they're rare wines, so it makes people, especially those that are true lovers of fine wine, want to participate in this auction. Now, speaking about participation, how do I bid? Like, if I want to tap into this, what side?
Very simple. Yeah, you go onto the straussart.co.za website, which will be very easy to find. and all one needs to do is register. There is a KYC, know your client, know your customer process, where we need to know who you are. And the last thing we want is nefarious, crypto dealings and going into murky waters. So it's done the normal Strauss way, how we auction all other arts and wines. And once we know who you are, then you can start bidding and you can put down a bid. And then on the 25th, the auction closes. It's an online auction. You'll see if there are any people that have outbid you. You get a notification if you've been outbid, and then you can go back and put down another bid, or you can put a maximum bid to which that you can bid. And then on the 25th, whoever has offered the highest amount gets the NFT. As I say, then the background NFT work is done by our partners, Fanfire, and they do all the blockchain technology transfers, and they'll put it into a hot or a cold wallet, which are wallets which store these blockchain keys, which contain the NFTs.
Amazing. Honestly, this is a really exciting initiative, like I said earlier, and I can't wait to see the results of this auction. Before I let you go, I want to ask, how has it been for you? You said something about you both spent 18 months planning this, and this is a really huge initiative. So what has the experience been for you, and what have you learned from this experience?
I think the number one learning is that lingo is important. Coming from a wine background, lingo or language is very important. Yes. If you want to be in the wine industry, for instance, you need to spend time in the industry. You need to study wine in order to learn the lingo, learn the language. If you don't, you miss a lot of things and you miscommunicate. So here I'm dealing with different industries, and the communication was extremely difficult because you're talking in a certain language, I'm talking in a certain language, and it's there's very few people putting these languages together at the moment. And there are a lot of consumers who are scared of crypto and NFTs just because they don't know about them. And once you do start understanding their power and the fragility of the current financial system, then you start seeing the business case quite clearly.
Amazing. One more thing before I let you go. As a fine wine specialist, where do you see the industry in the future? How much would you see it evolving?
Well, fine wine keeps on evolving and keeps on being a great investment asset. One only needs to look at LVMH, the biggest luxury brand company in the world. Their earnings just keep on growing. People want luxury goods. People want luxury wines. Yes. The champagne market is boomed. The Bordeaux market is still quite resilient. I think more and more people are becoming wealthy. The Gini coefficient is expanding. More buyers of the same amount of fine wine means the prices are going to go up. So if you're looking for an alternative asset or something to hedge against other uncorrelated asset classes, this is a good opportunity, fine wine investment. And then of course, wine in Africa, South African fine wine is really becoming world class, and not everyone on the African continent might know that. And of course, there are other wines from around Africa that will become more and more famous when we start finding the right conditions to grow grapes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Roland, for coming on the show. Like I said, this is a really exciting initiative, and I look forward to seeing how it goes through.
Morning, thank you so much.
Okay. That was Roland Peens, Managing Director of Wine Cellar Fine Wine Merchants and Strauss Co Auction Partner and Fine Wine Specialist. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more.